Hey everyone, welcome to Life Journal Jumpstart. My name is Garrett Miznaka, and I'm here to guide you through a little bit of the reading in our daily devotions that we read every single day. Now today's reading is 2 Kings 11:12, 2 Chronicles 24, and 1 Timothy 6. In 2 Kings 11:12, it's about Joash surviving and beginning his reign at only 7 years old. And it's the same stories as 2 Chronicles 22 and 23, yesterday's reading. And so you'll get to go in a bit more depth into what happened and who is who and things like that. In 2 Kings 12, Joash begins some home improvements, and he begins to kind of bring God back into the picture. He even begins to start to rebuild the temple, collecting donations to do that. And he ends up being one of the good kings, although he doesn't take down the high places of worship to Baal and different other gods. And so that seems like a consistent theme throughout. Even most of the kings is that they don't really go all the way with their faith. And so he begins to repair the temple, he begins to collect donations, and after around a couple decades, he finally begins to rebuild the temple in its full glory. And that's the 2 Kings part of the reading today. In 2 Chronicles 24, this is a bit interesting because it blends right into King Joash's reign, where he wants repairs in the temple, but how is he going to get money for these repairs? And he begins to tax the people for it, but they're happy to do it. They're happy to give money to make sure that the temple is restored. We also see Joash's demise in this, as well as the prophet Zechariah, not to be confused with Zachariah, but Zechariah's, the prophet, his untimely end, as he begins to confront Joash with different things, and Joash doesn't like it. And so he ends up taking the prophet's life, but the prophet says that the Lord will avenge him, and he does later when Joash's own servants end up taking him out because of what he did to Zechariah. And so it's an interesting story about King Joash. He started so well and had a great mentor, but he didn't follow through. And I hope that you and me would be able to follow through. Even though we have a great support system around us in church and different things, it's ultimately up to us to choose to follow God. In 1 Timothy 6, Paul is going to exhort Timothy to confront the false teachers again, and he's going to kind of expose how they gain followers, and basically they gain a lot of followers for charismatic and interesting teaching, and then they charge money for it. And so ultimately Paul's saying a lot of what they're doing really revolves around money. It's got nothing to do with a genuine teaching of who Jesus is or who God is or what Jesus did or anything like that. It's all about money. And so instead of wanting worldly riches, he exhorts Timothy to be generous and be rich in good works and be rich in the spirit instead of rich in worldly things. He says to focus on Jesus, and he ends the whole letter with a poem that is about Jesus and how Jesus is king above all things. And as we close today, I just want to ask you and me this question: how will you be different because of what you have read today?